Hello and welcome to the Young Dad Conversation. My name is Ricardo Salcido, and joining me today is Richard.
How you doing?
Richard, thank you so much for being here today.
No problem.
So I want to tell everybody how I met Richard. I was coming out of the subway one day, actually coming to the studio, and I heard the sweetest little voice. It was a little girl. And she was saying, "Bye, Poppy, bye, Poppy." And I thought, "Oh my God, this is unbelievable! I gotta meet this guy." Yes. And so I ran out and I say, "Hey, you know, my name's Ricardo," and you're like, "My name's Richard," and so here you are today. Tell me a little bit about that situation. What was happening then?
I was very surprised. Well, just meeting you on top and you noticing that moment in my life. Like, it's very rare that people get a view of that.
Right.
Of a father and daughter bonding situation.
Right.
And you know, it brings me joy to know that she loves me that much.
Right. Right.
You know?
And she must have learned that from you, or did she pick it up from her mother?
Yeah, she picked that up from me.
Yeah.
Because I'm very affectionate when it comes to showing my love.
Right. You tell her. I
get it from like my grandmother and so on and so on.
Okay.
She raised me.
Your grandma?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And we'll get to that in a minute. Mm-hmm. But so how old is your daughter now?
Well, she's going on 5.
5 years old?
Yes,
okay.
July 17th.
So you're definitely a young dad. You had her when you were?
Well, I'm 26 now.
You're 26?
Yes, I had her in 09, 5/17.
So you were 21 when she was when she was born?
Yes.
Wow, that's young.
Yes, but I knew her mom way before that, like in the teenage years.
Okay. Did you went to high school together?
No.
No.
We didn't go to high school there. We met after.
Oh, all right. Okay, okay. All right. So this is interesting. Your dad was not around?
Not much, but like later on, he got back in touch with me. He lives in Belize.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's not exactly around the corner.
You know, he got deported.
No way.
Yeah, it's a true story.
Oh my God, classic. So, all right, so you were born here, your dad was around until he got deported, and then obviously with that kind of...
Yes, it was very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, learning how to be a man and stuff.
How old were you when he left, when he was taken away?
Well, I believe I was 13.
Oh, okay, okay. So you did spend the first 13 years of your life with him?
Absolutely.
Okay.
He lived in the States for that long.
All right, and you had a good relationship then?
Yeah, it was very well.
Okay.
But it just strained after a while because of not being around, and then, you know, later on me having a daughter and everything, it just strained. And
so then how, okay, so you did have a dad, and then what, I don't know, when you met this girl, you had a child. Yes. I mean, were you thinking, I don't know, has it been difficult for you?
For the most part, in the beginning it was. And I realized that I had to be a man and go out and get it, which is like find a job, well-paying job at that, because not many jobs are paying that well nowadays.
Right.
You know, they're minimum wage, and you know, it's hard. It's very hard.
And you, I mean, can we safely say that you didn't know how expensive it was going to be?
I really didn't. It came in Pampers, lotions, special detergent, and stuff like that you have to use for babies. Like, it's just crazy. Like, so much into it. Yes, it is a lot of money.
It's very expensive.
Very.
And are you still together with the baby's mother?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Did you get married or
no? Engaged.
Engaged. Okay.
Yeah, I've been engaged for 2 years.
Oh, good.
Now.
Okay. That's all right.
Got engaged on Valentine's Day, actually.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Cool. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I mean, I think it's a really great thing. You know, this is always hard for me to say, but I never wanted to get married. I never wanted to have children. Well, because the way that I grew up, you know, my father wasn't around. He wasn't a particularly nice man when he was around.
Right.
And I just, it all seems so difficult and so...
Where'd you grow up?
Not pleasant, in Colombia.
Colombia?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so then I thought, you know, this is not something that I want to do. And then, you know, what, on top of you know, thinking that you know, having children would be like so I wouldn't know what to do because I didn't have that male model.
Right.
I thought, you know, the world is like so hectic. You know, what about you? How many of these thoughts went through your mind before or during pregnancy?
Well, during pregnancy, it was kind of rough because I wasn't able to be around as much as I wanted to.
Okay.
And at that point, she lived at her mother's house.
Okay.
I've had my own house, well, I should say apartment,
Yeah.
since I was 16.
Okay.
And that was very rough,
Yeah.
coming up. And I was not used to like having responsibilities.
Right.
It's just all these wild parties
Yeah.
and stuff of that nature that just had me on the wrong path,
Yeah.
as well as friends.
Okay, yes.
Sometimes they lead you the wrong way. So you have-
Yeah, no, and I mean, you were being probably
I was
an
a teenager,
average,
so,
a normal guy.
yeah, but I
Doing-
still made sure I went to school
Okay.
and graduated.
Oh,
I
really?
graduated
Okay.
Norman Thomas High School.
So you went to school. You knew. So you understood. Well, but, you know, you
Yes.
had that from your dad and from your grandmother. They told you,
Yes.
hey, you know, you want to
Be
do well.
something, you
Yeah.
want to go somewhere in life, you have to go to school.
You have to educate yourself.
Yes. And I had that choice those mornings to get up or stay in bed.
Yeah.
No one was there to say, hey, it's time for school. Nothing,
Right.
because I had my own apartment.
Yeah.
It's like I can choose to either stay in bed or I can go to school.
And
I
you-
chose to go to school.
Yeah.
Get an
Did,
education.
and did you go to college after? Have you done any
No.
college? No.
No.
Okay. Are you thinking about that?
Currently, I've just been like maintaining the household,
Yeah.
work 24/7, like just grinding and trying to get money.
It's so hard.
is.
It's very difficult to make this happen. I tell you, I don't know
Yes.
how people have so many kids. I don't understand how people. I mean, I know it happens, and I know it happened to me. Like I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely wasn't prepared for this.
Right.
And I'm 41 now, and I
Well,
feel like
congratulations. You reached that age.
I definitely feel like I'm still not ready.
Yeah.
And I'm dealing with this a 7-year-old and a 6-year-old, and they're wonderful boys.
Wow.
But there's moments where they test you,
Yes.
and they push you, and I think, man, I'm not ready for this, And I was like,
I got pushed to that point a lot sometimes, lots
Yeah.
of times. Sometimes you get annoyed with certain situations, especially if it's something that's repetitive and it keeps happening. And,
Yeah.
and you're trying to teach them, let them learn, like, this is the way to go about things. But sometimes you have to let them be themselves.
Right.
They have their own little minds.
right, I
It's-
know,
It's
I know.
so amazing to see it every day, like, just, like, getting smarter, learning math,
Right.
just little things around the house. It excites me sometimes.
Yeah.
Something as so simple as brushing your teeth in the morning. Like, it's amazing how she
Right,
just
right.
puts the toothbrush and put the toothpaste on it and starts brushing without me even having to tell her.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And you being a young, where do you live? Do you live up here,
Yes,
uptown?
I live in East Harlem.
East Harlem. Okay.
Yes.
The premise of the show is that by you sharing your story, I would imagine millions of men, at the very least, around the world, because now this will broadcast to China and back,
Right.
will benefit from you sharing the story. So if you could say anything to young men, about the lesson, about what something that you've learned, I don't know, one thing at least that you think, hey, you know what? Or maybe that you tell your friends, right? Your
Yeah.
buddies.
Yeah.
What would you say to those guys about maybe that don't have children yet or that are about to become fathers?
Well, it's never too late. And then again, I would say it's never too early because people have kids at age 16 nowadays.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a right thing or a wrong thing.
Right.
But sometimes you get to grow with that child, versus being an older person and then not really getting the full fulfillment or really being there for the child later on in age because, we're all not going to be here one day.
So, but wait. Are you saying that it actually may be a good thing to be a young dad?
Yeah.
Oh.
Honestly, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. Not at all.
Huh.
But
I've been thinking
you
about.
do have to worry about later on, which is like the expenses, like we discussed
Right.
before.
It's just that I thought that it would be so. Like I can't imagine myself in my early 20s being responsible.
Right. Yeah.
So this is a huge responsibility.
It is. It's very time consuming also. Like you have to find that time as well as like take time out of work, take time out of family issues or whatever is going on at that point in your life. You have to make sure you take that time out and show that love and show them that you love them.
Right.
Like I really think that's important.
Yeah, you have to be present.
Yes.
Aware that you have to spend more quality time with this child. Like there's always more. You always like
There's
you
always
have to be.
more you can do.
And you know what I keep thinking about is when I see my boys and sometimes I have this feeling I think, and I hold them and I hug them and I say to them, what am I going to do when you're not 6 or when you're not 7 anymore?
That's the same things I think about sometimes.
Right.
Like when you get older, I imagine you not want to be around me as much.
Yeah, right.
So I eat it up now.
Yeah.
While I can.
Right.
Before I become like the lame dad. That's just my dad.
Right. That's just my dad. Right?
Yeah.
That's funny. So what do you? I mean, you sound like a great dad.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you do to continue to improve, being a better man and a better
And a
father?
role model as well.
Okay. Well, what are some of the things that you do, like consciously, you're aware of doing?
Well, sometimes I like to take time out. Like if I'm doing something, I'm not too busy. I like to ask my daughter, like, what do you want to do today?
Okay.
Like, you want to color? You want to go to the museum? Would you like to go out to eat somewhere? Just daddy-daughter time sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And sometimes you do have to separate sometimes from the mother and have that alone time.
Right.
Because to let them see how you are and how you interact with them by yourself.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to always be a family thing. Sometimes you
Right.
have to give the mother time as well.
I think that's smart. I think that's really smart. We definitely did. We started doing that several years ago, where we would split up. But I would take both boys, and she would have her alone time,
Right.
and it was just the boys and me, right? And there were days that she would do. She would take the boys with her. But in our case, she does so much more for them than I. So it's usually
I would say that too.
me taking the boys most of the
It's not
time.
really doing much because they do like most of the work.
They do most of the work.
We're not really around for
We
all of the special moments like
Yeah.
that with the mom.
Yeah, they do-
Even
they
if
do
it's
most
a
of the
boy or a girl, really, like it's just
Right.
that bond they're always gonna have with the mother.
Yeah.
So you have to try to go over the hurdles
Yeah,
sometimes.
and there's some things that I do, like to be a good husband, for instance.
Right.
I clean, or I'll get the laundry started, right? I
Right.
mean, do you find yourself doing things like that to I don't know, to keep
Yes.
your relationship?
Actually, before she got off work and I came here, I cooked and I washed the dishes and stuff
Wow.
of that nature, and I have the laundry prepared for tomorrow.
Oh,
So she walks in, she sees all
Right.
this, and she's very happy about it. And
Yeah.
there's rewards, of course, for
Right.
doing these
Yeah.
little things. They
Absolutely.
appreciate it. They show
Right.
that they appreciate it.
right. Where did you learn all this stuff? Oh, grandma.
Grandma.
Oh, nice.
Grandma, all day.
Wow, that's good stuff. I picked up all this stuff from my mom.
Yeah.
I have 2 sisters, so my mother and my 2 sisters. Obviously, I don't know, they kind. I picked these things up from them, really. And I'm sure my mom gave me tons of advice. I can't think of it right now what it was, but she was always there.
My mom was pretty much around till I was about, I would say, 15, because she moved down south to Montgomery, Alabama, which most of my family lives.
Okay.
I have a lot of cousins and family up here, but she
Alright.
went down there to live. And that's when I was left with my own situation, which
Oh,
is
wow.
the apartment and everything like that, and
Yeah.
learning how to survive on my own
Yeah.
and be a man.
Montgomery, Alabama. Man, I read the Martin Luther King Jr. book.
My
it was-
great-grandmother lived next door to him.
No way.
Really.
That
really,
is a
really.
fantastic book, man. What a
It's
great
now a
story.
museum.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What a great story.